2 minutes till broadcast. One minute till broadcast.
What's up, guys? Welcome into it. Happy Friday. Making it to the end of the week. I know, greatest day of the week. You are super excited about kicking off your weekend. We will help you get there. There's plenty to talk about. Dr. Julie Gatza will be on the program, bottom of the hour, the Florida Wellness Institute. We'll talk about midlife living, metabolism, diets, supplements, and so much more. How do we stay healthy? Apparently, I'm at that level and, starting to freak out a little bit. I know.
30 seconds till broadcast.
Also, of course, we have the big news on the tariffs today. We have the ET thing and a heck of a lot more. So, that being said, let's have some fun. Like it out, share it out, leave that comment, break the algorithm. Let's do this thing for a Friday. Hang tight. Here we go.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Begin transmission.
Located off K96 on Greenwich Road, Jewelry Savers.
It's currently 39 degrees. Broadcasting from the heart of the nation, the next generation in conservative talk radio. This is the voice of reason with Andy Hooser.
Oh, yes, it is. What is up, my friends? Welcome into it. Hey, it is a Friday, greatest day of the entire week. You finally made it. Pat yourself on the back. Now you can celebrate the weekend shenanigans. Starting, I guess right now. Why the heck not? It's 5 o'clock somewhere, right? No matter where you may be. And it's so great to have you along for the ride. It is the voice of reason. My name is Andy Hooser, broadcasting out of the heart of the nation here in Wichita, Kansas, on our flagship radio station. We are all over the country with so many great radio affiliates doing the thing. Do it live! Like we do every single day here on the program. I have been in such a mood, good mood, yesterday, today. As you know, we broke down the whole ET thing because that was a fun conversation.
Weird news of the day.
Oh, are we going to go there again? No, we're not going to do it. I promise you. We won't spend a lot of time on that one today. We got most of it out of our system last night, although I will say we got even better news last night. So I am calling this officially today Disclosure Friday. We saw, obviously, as we broke down yesterday, the response from Donald Trump saying that Barack Obama gave classified information on ET information on Area 51 and so on and so forth. That was kind of a confirmation that we've been looking for. That's really exciting. Then we saw late last night a post on X or on Truth Social or on whatever social media that he posted it on, saying that he has now directed the Department of War, other relevant agencies to disclose information regarding ETs, UFOs, and UAPs.
Say what?
Now, what we're going to get out of it, I don't know. I am going to spend some time on it on the syndicated program this weekend, so do not miss that one. That will be really exciting. But that being said, it will be really cool and looking forward to it. So in light of the celebration that we have for Disclosure Friday, I am wearing my ET shirt. I also have here, and we brought him from the home studio from the Hooser Media Network studios. He is now in studio with us here today at the KQAM flagship that we have during the weekday program. We have our great alien head, and right now he's kind of the intern of the program. And we're looking forward to having him stick around with us. But that being said, we will break some more of that down throughout this weekend. I will say that Anna Paulina Luna was on Fox News today, and it was talking about the importance of why this disclosure is so important. And I think we really should heed that word.
Been briefings that we've received as Congress that leads us to believe that yes, there is definitely an advanced technology out there that's not created by mankind. And yes, of course, we've seen other evidence where it could potentially be UAPs, and then we later find out that there's drones. But there is a certain amount of evidence that we simply can't explain. Some of the physics that are defied in how these vehicles operate are very interesting to note. And we are not the only government that's, looked into this extensively. But I really do look at this from a lens of national security. And as you know, as we continue to evolve specifically on the front of AI and drone technology, we have to ensure that are these things, whatever they may be, are they potential adversarial weapons, advanced weapons, or not? And I think the whole aspect that the federal government can deny access to members of Congress, of which has happened not just to myself, but to other members of Congress as well, is not just alarming.
All right. So, yeah, I mean, exciting. So more information coming out. We'll see exactly what does come out. We'll break some more of that down this weekend. There's a lot bigger information that's coming out today with some breaking news. Not the best news, but not the worst news either. Just a little bit different, and it's really frustrating that we continue to eat our own. We have a lot of great momentum going on in the nation, and that's, of course, where we get to with our What's Trending story of the day.
What's trending today?
By the way, too, if you are watching the video feed, which you can find on our website, HooserReason.com, our social media, our friends over at KLUP and 930 The Answer TV on their YouTube channel, we have, with the alien head, I'm always open to names on what we should name this guy. I have not named him yet, so go on the video feed and check him out, and then you can tell me. I'm going to put him over here, so there you go. That way, he's behind us here in the studio all day long. Looking forward to the name on what we should name our next intern here on the program. All right, big news today. Obviously, the headline story of the day is that the Supreme Court has now decided that Donald Trump cannot impose the tariffs as he's done so far. Now, what exactly does that mean? According to the story from NBC News, they say that the decision came from the Supreme Court justices divided in a 6-3 ruling that Trump's, quote, aggressive approach to tariffs on products entering the United States from across the world was not permitted under the rule that they have been using so far, which was the 1977 law from the International Emergency Economic Powers Act. They say that he's not allowed to use that ruling in that law. That being said, that does not mean that he cannot impose tariffs in the nation, but this was his response earlier today when this decision actually came out. He held a press conference and said this.
The Supreme Court's ruling on tariffs is deeply disappointing, and I'm ashamed of certain members of the court, absolutely ashamed, for not having the courage to do what's right for our country. I'd like to thank and congratulate Justices Thomas, Alito, and Kavanaugh for their strength and wisdom and love of our country, which is right now very proud of those justices. When you read the dissenting opinions, there's no way that anyone can argue against them. There's no way. Foreign countries that have been ripping us off for years are ecstatic. They're so happy. And they're dancing in the streets, but they won't be dancing for long. That I can assure you.
All right, so I know, not very happy about it. He seems pretty fired up on this one. Here's what it means. Now, according to the decision, and as we mentioned with some of the opinions from Clarence Thomas and some of these others, they made the decision saying that, well, he can't use, what is this, the 1977 law from the International Emergency Economic Power Act. However, he is still allowed to impose tariffs, just they have to use a different law or a different rule for them to fall under, so he has to do it in a slightly different way. But here's the question that I pose to you that I want you to ponder as we go into the weekend now, is how much is this going to affect the economic activity that we have in the nation? And here's what I mean. We have usually a structure on how we're going to function as a government, how we're going to function with tax revenue, how we're going to function with the general assumption of what the price of goods may be, the general price of imports and exports, the general price of raw materials. Like, that's how businesses pretty much decide what their operation is going to look like based on what they assume or what they think with the certainty or some stability in certain industries. And it was a little shaky this last year because Donald Trump was changing a lot of things. The Obama administration, yes, I want to go all the way back to there. The Obama administration, the Biden administration, even Trump administration 1.0, look completely different from what Donald Trump's doing right now in administration 2.0, when he said we're going to start bringing in different tariff revenue. We're going to make better trade deals. We're going to open up new markets. We're going to have better trade deals that we haven't looked at for a long time. I still, for some reason, am baffled in the fact that we have hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of employees at the federal government, even in these agencies and departments, and for years, for decades, we're just like, hey, are we going to update a trade deal? Nah, we're still going to do one we signed back in the 1970s because somehow we think the trade's still the same from that time period. Does that make any sense to anybody? No. So we're changing the trade deal because for a long time, these foreign nations have been able to take advantage of us. They've been getting a lot of revenue from us, and we've been having a massive trade deficit. So Donald Trump walks in and he says, we're going to do something completely different. And we're going to change these trade deals, but they're not going to willingly do it because they're getting the better end of the deal. So how are we going to bring them to the table? We're going to impose a lot of tariffs. Now, I want to be very clear. I have been against tariffs. The first administration, I was against tariffs. And Donald Trump tried to impose them a little bit. If you remember, he was imposing tariffs more so on our own companies here that were based in the United States that were exporting a lot of the manufacturing and a lot of the work to other nations. So that way we could bring manufacturing back to the U.S. And at that time, I strongly opposed it. One of them was we're going to, I think he wanted to put on, I want to say like a 25 or 30% tariff on any vehicle from any auto industry or any auto company that was importing vehicles from Mexico after them being assembled in Mexico because they offshored and sent all the manufacturing and the manufacturing of these vehicles down there and then just imported the vehicles back in. And Donald Trump said he was going to put a 25% tariff on all of these vehicles. And guess what it did? It ended up stopping a lot of that outsourcing from the country, which to us is kind of a good thing, right? Yeah. Now, again, at that time, I was very skeptical, didn't really care for it. I was more of a let's encourage through a carrot and not use the stick kind of mentality, but everybody to each their own. But tariffs overall, usually not the best approach. So when he came up with this idea in Trump administration 2.0, all of us were a little wary, a little sketchy. Why would we do something like that? What is this going to do to the economy? We had the economists for sure, never let a crisis go to waste. All the hyperbolic rhetoric, all of the fear mongering, all of the hysteria that we got, saying that this was going to massively raise inflation. It was going to empty the big box stores, the Walmarts and the Targets and whatever else. The stores were going to be empty because we weren't going to bring anything in. And they would stop trading with us. And then, of course, the relationships would be broken, and these different nations wouldn't want to work with us, and they would just trade with somebody else, and it would just leave us completely isolated, deserted, and destroy the United States of America, right? That's what they say. And did it happen? No, it didn't happen. And in fact, we have way better trade deals with the nations that have come to the table because we told them you're not going to take advantage of the United States any longer. The reason I bring all this up again and hash it out is that that's how we've transformed the economy to expect this. So now the businesses that have gone through a rocky year of trying to find stability, trying to find some kind of foundation and some type of consistency in the market that's been very difficult to do because of these trade deals, we're finally starting to get on level playing field. And it's showing. We saw the economy grow by more than 2.4% for January. We saw inflation down to only just over 2%, which is the lowest we saw since March of 2021. We're seeing job growth come back. We're seeing wages come back up. Finally, the tip of the iceberg for the golden age of America. Finally, the tip of the iceberg for the economic comeback that Donald Trump's been promising, because finally we did the transition, and now we can actually see the benefits of what we've been working on. And all of a sudden, the Supreme Court case comes out. Now, that's not to say, again, the Supreme Court said you cannot impose tariffs. In fact, according to the story from NBC News, they say that what Donald Trump is able to do is just use different rules, where he has to do it a little bit differently. The problem is that it sounds like he's not able to impose specific tariffs onto specific nations, that it has to be more kind of a universal thing. According to the story, they say Trump's ability to impose tariffs using other laws is not affected by the ruling, and Trump plans to use the other authorities to impose the new duties on a global basis, saying that he will soon be announcing an implementation of a 10% global tariff that right now would actually reduce the tariff on many of these foreign nations right now. So we can't do it individually. We just have to do it as a universal global basis for every nation that trades with the United States. And I don't know if that's going to have the same impact.
A lot of the press right here, we're in Georgia. I said to the owner, I made a speech at a factory They make steel products. And I said, how are you? Nice to meet you. How's business? President, I'd love to kiss you. This is a very powerful man. I don't want to be kissed by that man. But a very powerful, strong man. He's been in the steel business for many years. His father started it. And he said, sir, I want to kiss you. I said, why? He said, because we were down to working 1 hour a week, and then you came in and imposed tariffs, and all of that foreign junk that they were dropping into our country stopped. And we're now going to double shifts, 7 days a week, and we may be very soon going to 24 hours around the clock, almost 7 days a week. He said, sir, I want to kiss you so bad.
Donald Trump seems to be getting a little excited about that. It sounds like he wants a kiss from somebody. But here's the thing. We now have an economy that's getting back on track. We've understood what the tariffs have done. It's not done the disaster as what everybody said they were going to do. We're getting our foundation here, and now we're taking it away. And not only that, it goes so much deeper. We're taking the leverage away from the Trump administration to force these other nations to come to the table. This is going to be a major change.
The Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
When America builds, the world follows. Our energy powered the 20th century. We've set the standard for generations, and we never waited for permission. But now, we're being held back. Outdated rules, endless delays. Without permitting reform, Washington's red tape is slowing us down while other nations race ahead. It doesn't have to be this way. We can clear the way for energy that's affordable, reliable, and built right here. Because what's built here is felt here. Lower costs, more jobs, stronger communities. That's what permitting reform makes possible. Energy didn't just shape our country, it powered the American dream. And with our innovation, we can lead the 21st century. Congress has a choice. Build America's energy future or risk falling behind. Tell Congress, pass permitting reform now.
Miss any part of the show? Well, don't worry. Now's your chance to go find the podcast and listen to as much of the Voice of Reason as you'd like. As the show continues to grow all across the nation with great radio affiliates, we also continue to grow as one of the top conservative podcasts, ranked 5th on the MillionPodcast.com Best 50 Conservative Leadership Podcasts in the nation, and number 1 on FeedSpot.com's 30 Best Conservative Talk Shows in the country. The show continues to grow each and every day. Just find us on any of your favorite podcasting sites at The Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser. Hey, did you know that you can have multiple different networks on one single smartphone? Well, with Patriot Mobile, you can. It's time for you to sign up for the Patriot Mobile primary phone plan with plans as low as $15 a month, where you can have 2 numbers and 2 networks on one single phone. And right now, if you sign up using the promo code REASON, you can get an entire month absolutely free. It's the Patriot Mobile One plan. 1 phone, 2 numbers, and 2 networks. And it's all at patriotmobile.com/reason. Again, patriotmobile.com, and use the promo code REASON.
What fuels the freedom to dream bigger? How did 2 guys in a cramped California garage reimagine the phone and put the power of the universe at our fingertips? At Americans for Prosperity, we believe greatness can happen anywhere. We just need freedom and the opportunity to make it real. But today, with a rigid system stifling progress, limiting creativity, and holding us back. That's why at AFP, we offer solutions that tackle the most critical challenges facing our country, so there's nothing standing in the way of America's next breakthrough. Because what we build today doesn't just shape the future, it defines it. How will you be defined? Take your first step today with Americans for Prosperity.
When you choose Patriot Mobile, you're not just picking a wireless provider. You're choosing a company that shares your values. It's easy to switch, and you can keep your number, your phone, and most importantly, your values. With Patriot Mobile, you get the power of nationwide coverage on all 3 major networks. That means wherever life takes you, we've got you covered on the same reliable networks you already know and trust. And when you need us, we're here for you right here at home. Our customer service is 100% US-based because we believe that support should come from people who understand you and your values. At Patriot Mobile, you're not just another call, you're a priority. In today's world, where you spend your money matters more than ever. Every dollar is a vote for the kind of future you want to build. Join the thousands of Americans making a difference with every call, every text, and every connection. Choose a company that shares your values. Choose Patriot Mobile.
Switch today and get 1 month of service absolutely free by going to patriotmobile.com/reason.
When reason meets radio. This is the voice of reason with Andy Hooser.
But I am allowed to cut off any and all trade or business with that same country. In other words, I can destroy the trade. I can destroy the country. I'm even allowed to impose a foreign country destroying embargo. I can embargo. I can do anything I want, but I can't charge $1. Because that's not what it says. And that's not the way it even reads. I can do anything I want to do to them, but I can't charge any money. So I'm allowed to destroy the country, but I can't charge them a little fee. I could give them a little two-cent fee, but I cannot charge under any circumstances. I cannot charge them anything.
All right, so President Trump at his press conference earlier today, you can tell he's a little bitter on that one, a little bit angry. But look, he's going to be able to impose different types of tariffs, but it sounds more like they want him to do more global tariffs. But how does that actually give us any leverage in any conversation? We'll do that here in just a minute. I want to tell you about my friends over at Lean. Everybody's talking about weight loss injections because, well, the results are really dramatic. They work by lowering blood sugar and reduce appetite. So what if you're looking to lose weight, but you're not wanting the painful weekly injections, especially when you hear about some of those side effects that may potentially happen? That's why doctors created a weight loss supplement called Lean, and the results are pretty awesome. They studied ingredients in Lean have been shown to lower your blood sugar, burn fat by converting it to energy, and curb your appetite and cravings, so you're just not as hungry. But Lean is not for the casual dieter with only a few pounds to lose. Doctors at Brickhouse Nutrition created Lean for frustrated dieters with 10 pounds or more to lose, and we can get you started right now. Order right now. Use our promo code. You get 20% off with your order and free rush shipping so you can add Lean to your healthy diet and your exercise plan. Go to TakeLean.com. TakeLean.com. Use the promo code REASON, REASON, for your discount. Again, TakeLean.com. Use the promo code REASON. Get that 20% off. Get that free rush shipping. Let's do this journey together with TakeLean.com. All right. So we have now the battle on what we do next. So we can still impose it. We can tweak the thing. We can tweak the tariffs and then move forward a little bit. The real question is are we going to be allowed to tariff individual nations at individual rates? And still, he might be able to do that with a different ruling, with a different law, with a different whatever back in the day that we try to pull out of the... Look, we have layers upon layers upon layers upon layers of laws, and I think people may not recognize that, and that's why these court cases are like, oh, are you allowed to activate the law from 1876? Like, it's still on the books. We've never actually gotten rid of those types of laws. So if we've never gotten rid of it, we could still technically use them, but we have layers upon layers of laws that are in the system right now, which is why you have to be a crazy extreme lawyer in order to interpret half of this garbage because, well, the average American probably wouldn't understand that. So I'm sure they'll be able to find another law, but speculation here, if we can only impose a global tariff, meaning everybody's the exact same, how do we have the leverage to bring a nation to the table? Because we've done it so far in very efficiently with Japan, with Australia, with the UK, with a lot of nations around the world. We've been able to bring them to the table because of these tariffs that they don't want to pay. And then we say, hey, let's sit down. Let's figure out a better trade deal. We'll open up the market. You buy more of our product. We'll buy more of your product. We lower it across the board. And then we essentially have almost a 0 to a couple percent, maybe, percent tariff on these nations. And they're very happy about it. And we're very happy about it. But until we have that leverage, why would they even want to come to the table when they're taking advantage of the United States? And we've just been the money pot for them to get as much money as they want. And we're in an extreme different trade deficit for the United States. The problem is that right now we're not getting accurate information. We hear one report that shows that our trade deficit has been getting worse. That's according to Democrat economic experts. And then on the other side, we hear the trade deficit's down by 78%. Some say that we're buying less around the world. Good. Isn't that kind of a good thing? If we're producing more on the home front, then why would we need to purchase from other nations? We want to be as self-dependent as possible. We know we can't be complete isolationists. We can't get rid of all of the trade in all of the buying things ourselves as well, or producing things ourselves. So we have to have a happy balance, but we don't have to be as reliant on foreign nations as before. But let's make these trade deals more beneficial for us. What do you say? Lots more coming up. Stay here.
This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Hey, it's Andy Hooser with the Voice of Reason. Fighting for conservative principles seems more difficult all the time. The progressive left finds new and creative ways to limit freedom, abuse power, and trample the Constitution each and every day. That's why we need the knowledge, resources, and common sense to push back. And that's where we can help. Head to our website at HooserReason.com. There you can find our latest blog discussing topical issues of the day. Let us know your thoughts on current events with different surveys and chat rooms. And keep track of what I might be doing or where I may be speaking. Plus, when you head to the website, you can always get great deals and different offers from all of our great radio partners. Finally, if you want more of the show, you can find our podcasts with all of our great episodes and your favorite guests. And make sure to check out the latest Voice of Reason infomercials and maybe some other special content. And it's all because of you being part of the Hoosier-holic family. Let's continue to fight for conservative common sense principles together by going to HooserReason.com. Why? Because it's kind of the reasonable thing to do.
Truth, reason, and common sense. This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Yeah, it is. Welcome back into the program. Great to have you today. It is a Friday. Wrapping things up for the week, getting you set for another fantastic weekend. We are almost done with the month of February. That kind of blows my mind. Makes my brain hurt with how quickly things are moving along. But it is obviously never a dull moment in the world of current events, politics, entertainment, health. Doesn't really matter. We're all across the board. We'll continue on with the conversation about tariffs here just a little bit, and we'll break some more of that down this weekend. Donald Trump saying that apparently the decision from the Supreme Court possibly empowering him to even impose crazier tariffs and harsher tariffs, so we'll see whether that happens or not. By the way, if you want more information on the program, we just had another massive dump of downloads for the podcast. We thank you for that very much. Wherever you may be across the nation with all of our great radio affiliates, you can find us on our website, HooserReason.com, HOOSER Reason.com. And, of course, the podcast by just typing in the name of the show, the full name of the show, The Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser, on any of your favorite podcasting sites. Subscribe to it. We thank you very much for that. Let's get into our What's Trending here, shall we?
What's trending today?
One of our favorite topics here on this program is, of course, the Make America Healthy Again movement, the MAHA movement, and trying to take our health back into our own hands, do things more holistically, getting away from big pharma, getting away from the big health industry, which is very, very, very difficult to do. I don't know if you've seen the story this week of the glyphosate and the executive order from the Trump administration protecting it and boosting production of glyphosate. That's what they use in Roundup. There's been a lot of linkage to that in cancer, and for some reason we're defending it. I do want to touch on that in a little bit, but at the same time, I have a I know you're going to hate me. I have a really hard time saying this, but I am getting semi sort of kind of middle-aged. I know. Don't judge me.
Say what?
Being 37, 38, I don't know. We're getting up there. Apparently, I'm getting close to the midlife crisis, according to my wife. And now we need to find ways to even take our health back into our own hands, even at a deeper level. That's where we're going to go to with our next guest here on the program.
Let's go to the Hoosier Media Hotline.
I know. I had a very hard time saying that one and getting it out nonetheless. But excited to have on the program on what we can do to keep ourselves healthy in a more natural way. Really happy to have on the program. She is the co-founder of the Florida Wellness Institute and a doctor really happy to have on here, Dr. Julie Gatza. Julie, how are you, my friend?
I'm good, thanks.
Great to have you on the program. It was really difficult for me to admit that I'm almost kind of sort of middle-aged, and I'm not okay with that. So apparently I have to do some more things to take care of myself now, right?
Well, it's only up to you.
That it really is. And that's what I think we've lost in society, right? We've relied so much on, if I have an issue, I go to the doctor. If I don't feel well, I just go and get a pill, or I go get an injection, or I go wait for the latest and greatest technology of, weight loss pill or whatever it is. We've forgotten the basic idea that really our own health is in our own hands.
I know. I mean, I've been doctoring for 35 years, and that is basically what I've been, my whole message. And, it's nice that it's becoming more aware in the society at this point that it's up to us.
Yeah. Has it almost been like nowadays we always have to do like a reprogramming of ourselves of, oh, yeah, I don't want to rely on this, or, oh, I don't want this to be a crutch. I just need to go do it. Is it almost like a mental reprogramming in society that we have to do for this?
It's what I've been noticing, and people are more apt to listen now, and, with the amount of information out there, you can certainly get lost in it, but there are just some very basics that they never change no matter what, and as technology has improved in our society, I think that people also think our bodies could also take more and more and more toxins and junk, and it's not true. We still have the same flesh bodies that we've always had, and 2,000 years ago they were the same situation, so now we have to actually wind it back a bit and go back to the basics.
Yeah. Why do you think, Julie, that we've become so complacent on what we consume in our body and the processed foods and the fast foods and the chemicals and everything else that goes along with it? Do we just not care? Do we not know? But why have we become so complacent of not thinking that what we put in our body actually has some type of effect on it?
Marketing. TV,
Really?
internet, commercials. The fact that we allow drug commercials on the TV is just ridiculous to me. And every kid in America thinks they need to be happy, and so do their parents if they have McDonald's. And, they're not a happy or well-taken care of kid if they're not eating it or getting it. And I mean, fast foods are just a way of life, and it's just been pushed so hard that it's baffling. But, when you really look at what's behind it, it is just, it's a marketing campaign that's been, pushed onto every one of us.
Yeah, that's really interesting. You'll enjoy this one. My daughter, she's in 6th grade, about ready to turn 12. And she despises McDonald's. Even as a baby, never really liked it. And when she goes to a snack and she wants a go-to snack, she eats cabbage and radishes. I don't know when I raised a bunny rabbit, but apparently that's what she's about. And that's what she goes to at nighttime for a snack.
Oh my gosh, I love her. Well, we used to tell my daughter that when she was in trouble, we would take her to McDonald's because only bad kids ate McDonald's. So
I love that. That's fantastic. Yeah, I love it. And I don't even eat radishes, so I don't know where she got that one. But by golly, she's one of the healthiest ones out there, and it's really neat. So let's talk about what we're consuming, and not only the fast food, not only the processed food, the boxed food, the frozen foods that we just kind of rely on nowadays. I get it's convenient. That's where it started, and then we just kind of let it slip out of our hands here. But the nutrition in general, does food have as much nutrition as what it used to back in the day?
Heck no, not even close. And, the fact is, I read some statistic that you've got to eat like 6 times more broccoli just to get the nutrition that you used to get in the 70s from broccoli, which would, translate into everything else. But, this could be a whole show just talking about it. But until they remineralize the soil, that's how you get the food that is healthy. And, how many tomatoes do you bite into that don't taste great? How many apples do you bite into that don't taste great? That's just simply lacking the nutrients that it needs from the soil, and then the glyphosate and all the things that we're using on our foods that kill the nutrition and kill our guts on top of it, that we are starving. And we have a lot of overweight people in this country, and that does not mean that they have nutrition. Their metabolism is lacking, they're starving, they're malabsorbed, and the reason that they aren't satisfied is the food is not giving them the nutrients that they need, so the metabolism is never satisfied and happy and calming down.
Yeah, so we're eating more and we're actually getting less nutrition, which is not a good system, which is why, like you said, we have, number 1 in heart disease, we're number 1 in obesity, we're number 1 in childhood obesity, which is absolutely insane. So, Julie, let's talk about the steps here for those that may have that bad habit trying to break it, or the ones that recognize this but don't know where to go or don't know how to fix it. What do we do? How do we get the nutrition that we actually need and get our metabolism back on track?
Well, we need to actually eat real food. And I say real food because there's also unfood. So if you take a piece of fish and you put that up, that piece of fish has protein and enzymes and vitamins and healthy fats, and you put that up against a box of French fries, which has no protein, no enzymes, no healthy fats, a bunch of toxins, seed oils, and so that unhealthy food or unfood is actually using up more of your reserves to break it down than it could give nutrition to you. So we need to stay away from unfood and start actually eating food. And the food you'll find on the perimeter of the grocery store. All the meats, all the vegetables, the fruits. If you stick with the outside portion of the grocery store and stay away from the insides in general, that's actually the food that actually will give you the nutrition that you need.
That's it. I never even thought about that. You're right. If you just stick around the edges of the grocery store, then you're in better shape than if you were walking down the middle aisles, which is really fascinating. What do you think about the new guidelines coming from the Department of Health and Human Services, Robert F. Kennedy Jr.? They came up with kind of a new, I guess, quote unquote, food pyramid. And recently he said this.
Rollins and I promised that we produce guidelines that were simple, that were under 10 pages, that everybody could understand. There was bloodshed on every recommendation because we had to look at tens of thousands of scientific studies to justify every recommendation. We now have a food pyramid which we flipped upside down because it made more sense. That puts protein at the top of the food pyramid.
Yeah, so way more protein, and along with the fruits and vegetables and breads and everything else, but protein is the number 1 that we're recommending. So vastly different from recently in the past few years when we're just like, oh, you should go vegan, you should do this keto diet, you should do all this stuff and not consume any type of protein. What are your thoughts on this?
I mean, my whole career, protein is number 1. It's the most needed by each one of the cells. It's the hardest to break down, and it's the one that, forsaking everything else, your body needs more than anything else. So we're having a hard time breaking down our food. We're not making the enzymes in our bodies the way that we need because of the lack of nutrition in our food. So people are experiencing a lot of different symptoms such as gas, bloating, indigestion, constipation, diarrhea, acid reflux, and these things are all very common, but not one of them is normal. No. So if you want to pay attention to your gut, if you have any one of those symptoms, then something's going on that's not optimal digestively. So my, constant has been have protein first, eat your vegetables next, have fruit, and if you still have to have the carbohydrates and the grains, okay, usually you're fuller by then, but that is not where you want to start, and our grains in general are not anything like they are in Europe because of the glyphosate and all the different changes in the seeds, and our wheat can't even reseed itself. We have to buy new grains each year because of the fact that they've been GMO'd and crazed, made weirdly.
Yeah, that's great. I love that. And the protein, like you said, number one, it needs to have in there. When we come back, we got to take a hard break here. But when we come back, I got to ask you, you mentioned the carbs. I'm a sucker for, I know a lot of people like different types of breads. I'm a sucker for bread, but more so tortillas. And I'll wrap everything in a tortilla. Everything that I eat. Thanksgiving dinner, let's just wrap that turkey up in the tortilla and eat that one. So we'll talk about whether that's actually I know the answer, but I still want you to hear it. But is it a good idea, bad idea, and what do we do there? Also, different ways for the metabolism and the battling of the chemicals. How do we fight that off, become a little bit more natural? We'll do that with Dr. Julie Gatza. She's with the co-founder of the Florida Wellness Institute. You can find her information. Got to take a break. We'll wrap up your Friday episode of The Voice Reason when we come back right around the corner, making you a healthier person for 2026. Stay here.
This is The Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Big government is broken. Every year, politicians fail to pass a budget as the deficit continues to grow. Every month, unelected bureaucrats pile on rules no one voted for, strangling our economy. And every day, DC's broken system gets in the way of the American dream. Washington isn't working, and the people pay the price. At Americans for Prosperity, we believe it's time to fix the system. Now, join the movement to make government work.
Oh, hey, sorry, I was just enjoying one of my snacks during the break. You know, it's hard to find good quality snacks without all the unhealthy additives, but I'm here to tell you that problem is over. It's time to enjoy J&S Smoked Snacks. Real cuts of beef, real wood smoke, and real flavor that's crafted in small batches to keep every bag fresh. And with numerous different flavors, you'll never get enough. This is not your average gas station jerky. It's J&S Smoked Snacks. Find them online at jssmokedsnacks.com and tell them I sent you.
When you choose Patriot Mobile, you're not just picking a wireless provider. You're choosing a company that shares your values. It's easy to switch, and you can keep your number, your phone, and most importantly, your values. With Patriot Mobile, you get the power of nationwide coverage on all 3 major networks. That means wherever life takes you, we've got you covered on the same reliable networks you already know and trust. And when you need us, we're here for you right here at home. Our customer service is 100% US-based because we believe that support should come from people who understand you and your values. At Patriot Mobile, you're not just another call, you're a priority. In today's world, where you spend your money matters more than ever, every dollar is a vote for the kind of future you want to build. Join the thousands of Americans making a difference with every call, every text, and every connection. Choose a company that shares your values. Choose Patriot Mobile.
Switch today and get 1 month of service absolutely free by going to patriotmobile.com/reason.
What fuels the freedom to dream bigger? Our country's greatest breakthroughs were born from bold ideas and the ability to take one small step forward. At Americans for Prosperity, freedom and opportunity find their defenders. Because our country's next giant leap is just around the corner. Are you ready to step up?
Hey, the live show may be almost over today, but it doesn't have to be for you. As always, enjoy The Voice of Reason with our daily podcast by finding The Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser on any of your favorite podcasting sites. Just find us, subscribe, have it automatically downloaded, and listen at your convenience whenever you want to bring some more reason into your day. And a lot of people are doing it. Also, you can always find the video of the show, along with articles, additional commentary, and maybe a few sarcastic remarks by following us on our social media. Stay up to date with everything going on with the show, including upcoming guests, breaking news stories, interesting articles, and maybe some memes. Help us in the ongoing battle with censorship and shadow banning from social media by following us on the social media at Hooser Reason on all of our social media sites. For all the social media links, podcast links, contact information, or just general information of the show, go to our website at HooserReason.com. There you can listen live every day, read our latest monthly blog, find our radio affiliate list, or even listen to our latest infomercials and special content. Plus, you can always reach out to the program by sending me a message on social media, emailing us at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com, or sending an email through our website at HooserReason.com. Whether it's content on the show, whether it's a guest that you've liked or disliked, or whether you want to disagree with me, and disagreement's always appreciated. While you're there, make sure to sign up for our monthly newsletter. Each month, you'll get the latest update on the show, updates from the Hooser Media Network, and our latest blog discussing topical issues of the day. Finally, if you want to help support the show, become a member of our Patreon site and help us fight for the cause of truth, reason, and common sense every day, and get more of the same by becoming the ultimate Hoosierholic. Get additional interviews that sometimes we don't always get to air on the radio. Hear our special segments or even our infomercials before anyone else, and have a chance to chat with other great Hoosierholics from all over. By becoming a Patreon subscriber, you're not only helping the fight for conservative values, you're helping us get more content and information out through the Hooser Media Network. Find out more information online at HooserReason.com. Lastly, follow and support all of our partners with the show. The Voice of Reason has been growing more and more every year, and it's because of so many great partners helping us get the message out to you. From show partners to local radio affiliates in your area to streaming sites, podcasting sites, and more, we have so many supporters and listeners now than ever before, and we want to thank you. It's time to bring back common sense, and we do it right here every day with the Voice of Reason.
America's safe space for common sense. This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Yeah, welcome back to the program. Great to have you here. We got a few minutes left as we wrap things up for a Friday, getting you setting that tone for the weekend, which I know you are excited about, trying to cram that 10 pounds of reason into that 5-pound bag, trying to rebrand the millennial generation, one radio listener at a time. We have a great conversation going on right now, going into the health aspect, the Make America Healthy Again movement, taking health back into your own hands with Dr. Julie Gatza. She's a co-founder of the Florida Wellness Institute. I teased going into the break, Julie, and I don't know that I want to hear the answer, but I probably should. Can I wrap all of my dinners in a tortilla and still be okay?
No.
No. I know it. I knew it. All right.
Well, corn is really tough on people, whether you have a sensitivity or an allergy to corn, but in general, it's super hard to break down. One of the reasons that you'll see kernels if you've had popcorn is because of the fact that corn is hard to digest. So what it does is it irritates the lining of the intestine and keeps you from absorbing. So I am not, a saint. I don't eat perfectly, but I do try to follow most of the rules that I talk about. And, I'll have a tortilla on occasion, but generally what I've worked towards is wrapping my things in lettuce, which sounds so strange, but if you get a nice piece of iceberg lettuce and, a few pieces at a time, put whatever it is that you like in it, you'll still have the sensation of all the tastes and the flavors. You're just knocking out the carbohydrate, red, glyphosate wrap that does satisfy your taste buds.
I have done that before. It is nice. You're right. And that is the struggle I have to work on, is to try and do that a little bit more for sure. You mentioned the protein that we have to have. If you don't like eating large portions of meat, can you supplement that by eating nuts? I know a lot of people talk about going, raw vegan. I actually did that a couple years ago for about a month, and it was really hard to do, but it was really nice. I enjoyed it. But to supplement, instead of eating the meat, we ate nuts in order to substitute for that protein. Does it work the same way?
I sound like nobody's going to like me at the end of this conversation, but the fact is nuts are hard to break down. If you actually buy whole raw nuts and you soak them overnight, such as almonds, that starts the enzymatic release so that nuts are more available to the nutrition that they are packed with. But the fact is we're eating them toasted and roasted and honeyed and sugared and salted, and it's not the same thing. That's an irritant. So, if you want to take a handful of almonds, put them overnight, rinse them in the morning. You can even slide them out of the skin. And interesting, the skin sitting there on the countertop after you have the nice white nut sitting there, the skin looks like pencil shavings.
Interesting.
And, I've looked at this going, wow, I would never sit and eat just these skins, but boy, I sure did when I was eating, the almonds with that. So you can do that with cashews and walnuts, and you want to get the whole raw nuts, soak them, and that will give you the enzymes that the nuts have to get you all the nutrition from them.
That's really interesting. I was not aware of that. All right, good to know. Last question for you. We got just about a minute left here as we wrap things up. Getting your digestive tract back on track, like you said, with the foods that we eat, with the chemicals that are in our food, with everything that goes on, our digestive system completely messed up. Certain foods, certain supplements, certain probiotics, what should we do to get back on track here?
Well, people take a lot of multivitamins and different nutrition that they've, learned about, but I think the most important nutrient that you can take is a high-quality digestive enzyme. I push one called Absorbaid because it's a vegan formula. It has all the ability to break down your proteins, your carbs, your dairy products, your fats, so that you get more bang for your buck every time that you eat. So if you're a healthy eater, take Absorbaid, you'll get 71% better absorption by just taking a high-quality digestive enzyme like the Absorbaid. If you're a lousy eater, great, take the Absorbaid. It will help push the toxins through, and whatever nutrition is there, it'll help to wring that out of the food as well. So kids can take it, elderly. A lot of my patients give it to their dogs so that their dog's food is more nutritious to them as well. And you can even take it on an empty stomach at night, and it will help with inflammation in the body. It helps with toxins and poisons and viruses and bacteria because it breaks down those things when it's not breaking down food.
Gotcha. Really interesting. All right, we will have to check that out and try to get our health back on track here with the food that we eat, trying to rebuild our body. The amazing part about the body is that it self-heals if we allow it to do so and we give it the right tools and nutrition and the nutrients that it needs in order for it to heal. And then it can heal pretty much just about anything, and that's really, really cool. And I love it. Go check it out. Dr. Julie Gatza, the co-founder of the Florida Wellness Institute. Julie, we appreciate it very much, my friend. Thank you for all the great information. Got to get you back on again soon.
Thank you. And if anyone's interested in the Absorbaid, you can go to the website, which is naturesources.com, and they give free samples or 20% off your first order.
I love it. Go and check it out. We appreciate it much. Back at it again on Monday. Until then, we'll see you back on the radio. It's The Voice of Reason. I'm Andy Hooser. Bye. Hey, it's Andy Hooser. When I get off the air every day, the battle for me against limited government, censorship, and even unfactual content is far from over. That's why now I'm so happy to say that the Hooser Media Network is giving you more opportunity to catch the Voice of Reason along with other great shows and podcasts. It's been a long time in the works, and now you can finally enjoy more great content, services, and topical shows. We're the safe space for alternative talk, information, and ideas that the mainstream media absolutely hates. From holistic and alternative medicine, discussions on religion and spirituality, pure entertainment shows, and of course yours truly with the Voice of Reason. Plus, we offer numerous media services, including helping you set up your own podcast. Become your own Voice of Reason and bring your expertise to any fun issue or topic. For information on all of our shows, links to podcasts, each show website or social media link, or to find out about everything we do to challenge the mainstream establishment, visit our website at HooserMedia.com. Again, that's HooserMedia.com, the future of media.